Like, share, and subscribe. Years ago, I used to work in pediatrics, and prior to that, I worked in maternity, but only for a short time. It was just for a few months. I didn't like working in the maternity ward. I didn't like working in pediatrics. You know, you know, that's a different type of thing for me altogether. But I wanted to talk to Black women in particular when they go to the hospital. A lot of times, doctors are coming up to them with a smile on their face, coming in when they're going to have a baby, and they're convincing them to have C sections. Now, C sections are when they cut you. They are cutting through tissue, they're cutting through bone just to get to the baby. Okay. And this is considered a major surgery. So they're charging your insurance companies a lot of money. Doctors get incentives for, you know, telling their patients to get C sections. And it doesn't even have to be anything of big importance as to why they would even want to give you a C section in the first place. They can find any little minute thing and say, hey, we need to, you know, cut you open, basically. We're going to give you a C section. And before you know it, you got the C section. And now your doctors are charging your insurance company for surgery that was performed. This is what they do. But when you get a C-section, Black woman, you're opening up yourself to infection, internal bleeding, you know, and these type of things are bad for you. These could, delete you, basically. And you got to understand, you have a lot of white supremacists. You have a lot of these people that are wearing doctors' uniforms, that are wearing lab coats. These people are doing these things to you on purpose to delete you. And not only that, when you get a C-section, you're limiting the amount of births you can have. When you get a C-section, you're literally cutting off how many births you can have, because you can't keep having babies and cutting yourself open and risking yourself to infection. And now you got to be sewn back up. And all these things are bad. They're bad for you. But they encourage you, Black woman, to go in there and get a C-section. Years ago, hospitals were created for when you fall off a roof, you break your leg, and you need your leg wrapped up and and all and pulled back into place and all that kind of stuff, or you were stabbed, so now you need to be patched up, or you were shot, you know, things like that. That's what the hospital was for. But a lot of white women were dying, giving birth. They couldn't hold on to their babies, so they started going to the hospitals. But somewhere along the line, Black women been brainwashed to think that hospitals are for giving birth. Hospitals were never intended for birth. Some kind of way along the way, we made it that way, but that was never the actual plan of a hospital, for women to go give births. And now you have these people that don't even like you over here snatching your baby's heads off. You know what I mean? While getting taking your baby out of you. You know what I'm saying? I just heard of a white midwife not long ago who was taking the baby out, and in the process of pulling the baby out of the mother, ripped the baby's head off. Ripped the baby's head all the way off. Lord have mercy. It's just amazing to me how, we send our Black women to go have babies, and now they're bleeding to death. There's blood in their Foley catheter. You know what I'm saying? Because they're internal bleeding and they're not being checked on, properly. This is war, y'all. This is war. Everybody knows statistically, when you go do the CDC, and statistically, it's better for a Black person to have a Black doctor that looks like them, that's like them. And when I say a Black doctor, I'm not talking about some African or Ethiopian or something like that. I'm talking about someone who is like you, an Aborigine doctor. And it's amazing to me how, You can be on Medi-Cal and Medicare, and you just get your doctors picked to you. You know, you don't have a choice as to who you can pick as your doctors because they got the shit rigged up. You know, it's like some of my loved ones who are on Medicare and Medi-Cal, they go to their doctor's appointments, but all their doctors are Asian, you know, or some other group. It's like, where are the black doctors? Where are they? We know we have black doctors. They are out there. They are there. But how come they're not being put on the Medi-Cal list where people can have a choice to pick black doctors? It's a setup, y'all. It is a total setup where they giving our people, you know, our women, children, elderly, to these other groups of people. If you're on Medi-Cal and Medicare, you have to go to these other groups of people to get any type of care. That's crazy to me. Where are the black doctors? And why can't we start giving, more births at home? You know, instead of going to some hospital where your baby might end up dead or their head snatched off. It's crazy, y'all. But we are at war. You know, but please remember, it's better to have a natural birth. Give your baby and yourself a chance. And you don't know how many children you might want to have, you know, later on. So getting C-sections, you're just basically opening yourself up to infections, blood clots, internal bleeding. It's not worth it. But then that's just me, you know, speaking. You know, I know people are gonna do what they want to do. You know what I mean? Um, but we got to look into these type of things. These are very important things. I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe, and tell me what you think about this video. And I will see you all on the next video. Peace out.